Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video we're going to learn how to parse HTML document using Python and regular expressions. Our goal is to extract quote, author, and the link that is referenced in the particular author. So the steps to complete these tutorials are very simple. So first we'll compose the regular expression with the help of regex101.com site that would allow us to compose and debug our regular expressions. And then we'll try to play around with this in the Python console. So I will just invoke the terminal and invoke the Python interpreter. I'm using Python 3 on my Linux Mint system. So here we would be playing around with the ready-made regular expression, but first obviously we need to create that. So at the very end we will try to extract the data I've been just talking about from the parsed version of this HTML document. So if you're interested, let's actually start. So first I need to inspect the element, I'm sorry, not to inspect the element, I want to have a look at the page source to obtain the valid HTML, and I want to paste this HTML here to regex101.com site. So from now on we can already start composing our regular expression. So the very first group to match is the starting tag, and it starts with the symbol with the less equals sign, and then it goes for it matches any word character, and we need to match this from 0 to unlimited types, to unlimited number of times. And now some branching is starting here. So we have two kind of tags. The first kind of tag does contain some attributes, while the other doesn't contain any attributes at all. So we'll need to match another group that might be encountered from 0 time to unlimited number of times. So just to bear this in mind, say this span, you see, like it also should have been matched, but I'm not going to paste to print this greater than symbol, because otherwise it would be hard to debug these guys, those tags that does contain some attributes. So the next thing to consider right over in here, so we always have space, and to make sure that there might be some trailing spaces, we can also add this plus here. So in this case we don't care how many spaces. Well, if we don't have this plus, if we have some more spaces, well, it would still match this kind of link. So yeah, probably we don't really need that as well, but well, doesn't matter really. So then we have another word character, and from 1 occurrence to unlimited times. And then again another branching appears right over here. So we do have attributes that have the corresponding values and those that actually don't. Say, like right over in here we have the bare item scope that has no corresponding attribute value, so just the attribute name. So this means that we need to distinguish another group, and it would be it matches between 0 and only 1 times. So this is just to bear in mind. And within this group we're matching for this kind of equal sign, and then we need to match our double quotes. But you know, like also here we might have encountered a single quote. So instead of just specifying the bare double quotes, so it would be matched in most cases, but not right over in here. So in order to avoid that behavior, we need to specify the range of characters, and there would be either double quote or single quote. So this time we do match kind of both cases right over in here. And now I just want to grab this part to match another I'm sorry, to match another corresponding sort of a either double quote or single quote, and in between between these guys we need to match again either whatever character other but double quote, other but double quote like this. So okay, I'm just wondering, and probably we need to do this from one time to infinite number of times, an unlimited number of times. But here we do only match those guys that being enclosed within the double quotes, but here we get something wrong. So in order to avoid this behavior, we need also to specify, like over in here we say or single quote. So in this case the attribute has been matched correctly. Okay, and it seems like this is it, right? So the very last thing to consider. Okay, so it's not yet the last thing, so now we need to consider this greater equals sign to close the opening tag, but it's not yet it, because we have this like meta tags that also contain some it's called I don't really remember it, probably it's called like HTML notation or something like that. So in order to match that as well, so we can have a space from 0 times to unlimited number of times, and then we can optionally have this slash symbol. We can have it either once or don't have it at all. That's the case. Also, then we can again have from 0 to unlimited times number of times for trailing spaces. So from now on we did seem to kind of match all the possible variations regarding the start tags. And the second part to consider would be to scrape the textual node for every single tag. Now I'd like to mention one of the limitations regarding this approach in order to parse HTML document with a regular expression. So the limitation is we can't really match some nested elements. We can match only those tags that have the textual nodes, like in case of title, like in case of this spans, but we don't really need much more for this tutorial. So let's consider the second group, and here we would have whatever character other but less equal sign, which stands for the beginning of the next of the closing tag, or even if it's not in the closing tag, like right over in here, and we want this to occur from 1 time to unlimited number of times. So from now on we did obtain this sort of textual values for every single node, and now it is already. So hold on a second, just wondering, do we need to match the cases when there might be no text? No, it's still like the same number of matches. So at least for this particular case it's not really that important. And we also won't be matching this end tags because there is no much need for them as well. So the end text makes sense only in case when we're trying to parse the HTML document as the tree-like structure to handle the nested elements. Well, if we're not doing this, we literally don't really need this end tag. So from now on we can already make use of this sort of regular expression to extract our data. So now let's go back to our Python interpreter. So first I want to create the HTML variable. I'm using the multi-line notation here, so let me just try to grab this source code again. Obviously I could have done this using like request library or urllib, but just to make this the things simple, I would simply paste this in, and now we inspect our HTML element. We got this string, so to make sure it's a string, let's say type HTML, so we have this class of string. And now we also need to import regular expressions, and let's store our regular expression within the regex variable. So this R stands that to specify the type of string to be the regular expression. That's quite pretty important. And now I need to make use of this regular expression and copy this and paste this right over in here. Okay, sorry, invalid syntax. This is a bit strange. It's Python. Okay guys, I'm sorry, I just realized why this doesn't work, because we already have this single quotes within our regular expression, so let's use the triple single quote in order to avoid this sort of behavior. Now it seems to be just fine. So let's have a look at our regular expression. Yes, looks pretty nicely. And now we can already make use of the regular expression dot find all method. So regular expression dot find all, and I'm using this regex value variable as the regular expression to match, and we're supposed to be looking for the patterns within the HTML variable like this. So I just hit enter. Now we get really lots of stuff. So from now on we would be trying to filter this data. So let's actually start. So the very first thing to consider, so I would like to use list comprehension in order to print every item from the new line. So for item in this regular expression, so just try to print every single item from the new line. And now every item contains really lots of stuff, and lots of unnecessary stuff as well. So we will need these are the sub-matching groups, which we don't really need, that they were considered just for the debugging purposes. So we need only the first element to match the tag with the attributes or an empty tag, and the very last element to match the textual node for every single kind of tag that we encountered. So let's try. So here now I would like now what I would like to do, basically I would like to create a dictionary that would contain all this data in this in some sort of a structured way. I don't know how to call this better. So okay, let me just I just want to import one more module. So import JSON. I would use this to print our response here. So I would like to say print JSON dot dumps, and indentation equals to 2 spaces, and here I'm supposed to be creating a dictionary. So let's try this. Okay, so the very first element for this dictionary would be actually a tag. So the tag would be equal to item indexed by 0, this like so. Now the tag equals the entire starting tag, but we don't need all this stuff. Instead we need to take only the tag name. But here is the important point. It contains some interesting I just want to say so that if we would be splitting this string by empty space straight ahead, it would give us an errors, because we have this like value. So the first thing to consider, we actually need to prepare this string. So first thing, I would like to say that this item with the index of 0 so it should be replaced. We need to replace the colon followed by the space by the bare colon, this like way. So now we have from now on we do actually we actually can split by this empty space. But before that, in any case, we don't need this opening and closing characters. So in order to get rid of them, I would like to say, just right over in here, I would like to strip both of these characters like this. So now we just got rid of those nasty characters, and from now on we can already try to split this. So the next thing to consider, so the tag name in particular would it be, so this string is now to be splitted by I'm not providing any parameters, because by default splits by the empty space, and I want to consider the very first element. So, well, first let me just show you how this is supposed to be, how this is supposed to look like. So we have this, the name, and then the attribute, and if we have more attributes, it just prints this like way. But we don't need more attributes at the moment. Instead, we need just the very first value, which is the tag name. So right over in here, so split and the very first element. So now we get we did successfully extract the tag name for every single tag. So the next thing to consider is to extract the attributes. So now when we have our tag, then here we can put a comma, and now we define the attributes, and the attributes would be the list. So we need to do literally the same. So we're taking this item dot zero. I'm just wondering, can we make this? Hold on a sec. Okay, I was thinking if there is a way to avoid these repetitions, but as far as we're creating this logic within the single line, I would better just keep this as is to make sure everything works the same. So replace, and but hold on a sec. Before recording this video, I was preparing it. Seems like I found some way to avoid this behavior, but doesn't matter, forget that. So let's do literally the same. So again, like oh, hold on a sec, we actually we don't really need to do this. Yeah, we don't need to do this right over in here. Yeah, that's yeah, that's the fact. So we only need to strip basically this. We can only strip like only the first part. Okay, so here strip. Yeah, actually here it's enough to strip this one, while here it's enough to strip only this one, and no need for this replace at all. So let me have a look. Yeah, now we got the tag literally the same like way, and we did strip the closing tag greater than symbol. Oh, we also yeah, that's because I didn't yet split this by the empty space, I guess. Strip. Okay. And yeah, and here just split by the empty space. Okay, and now we don't need the very first element. So in order to avoid the getting the very first element, it's just enough to specify the indexing, so starting from the first element and until the very last one. So now we have this like classes or whatever attributes. And one last thing left here, we actually would like to parse them. So in order to parse them, I need to define the key, so the attribute name, class, style, age, reference, and respectively the value. So if we just split this every element within the list by the equal sign, we will actually achieve our goal, obtain the needed result. So it's time to make use of another list comprehension. So here within the attributes, okay, so here, and so making another list comprehension. So this would be attribute, well actually this like for attribute in this list. Okay, and now here we would be defining our logic. Sorry guys. So now right over in here we would have our key and the value, and to obtain the key we need to split our attributes dot split by equal sign, and we want to consider the first element, right? And then the value. So this colon stands for the syntax of Python dictionary. So here we need to say attribute dot split by equal sign, and just to avoid any errors, I would say the very last element. Okay, so let's have a look. Well, okay, each reference, and we got this each reference. Yeah, I would also like to strip this double quotes from the values. I guess that would be a good idea. So so attributes, so here -1 dots, oh, not split, actually, yeah, I think I can strip them, strip, and this like, okay, perfect. So now we got we did strip the unnecessary. Okay, also we could have stripped this like single quotes, so just to bear that in mind. So let's go back, and here I say dot strip and the single quotes. Okay, yeah, so we did strip the single quotes as well. Okay guys, so here is our parsed data. So we have either multiple elements like this tag, style, references, and things like that. So this is pretty nicely already. I just need to get rid of that print statement and store this to a list, and then we can probably just gonna print this again and to reference that list, and that's gonna it. So let's go for that. So okay, so we need everything from here and up to here, so just copy and paste, and we don't need this kind of stuff right over in here, right? And this should be a list as well, so seems like it works. And let's store this variable to, I don't know, tags or content. It's probably better to call this like tags equals this like stuff. Okay, and now I would like to use another list comprehension, but this time actually to print this. So I say print, and again JSON dumps and tag, indentation equals to 2 spaces for tag in tags. Okay, so it's literally the same result. I'm just wondering if we can start from 0 element and not using the very last one. I'm not sure where this none are coming from. Probably not from there, really. Okay, and again, if you just print the tags, yeah, so actually those nonce are not within this tag, which is already good. I have no idea where they come from, but that doesn't really matter that much at this moment. So now we can actually try to extract our data. So let's go for this. So again, like here, but I would like to say so I would like to, okay, hold on a sec, maybe instead of printing the entire stuff, I would like to print just oh my god guys, I'm sorry, I also did forget to store the text for every single tag, sorry. So let's drop back to where we did store our tags. So here so these were the attributes, so the very last one would be text key, and here we would use our item and the very last element, and okay, and let's try to see if it works. Okay, now we got the text also being extracted here, so we will need our quotes in particular, so yeah, here are the quotes. Yeah, without the sunlight, sunshine is like, you know, night. Yeah, so this is the text, and here is the author, and the link referencing the author. So exactly the data we need in order to exactly the exact data we need to extract from here. So let's actually print. So we will need to print tag and text, right? So let's try to print all the text, and then we'll just distinguish what text to extract data from. So, and actually, yeah, also let's print first, just for the debugging purposes, I would like to print tag and actually it's called tag, I guess, right? Okay, and now we can say if, and now we need to reference the tag, right? So if tag name equals, and so we're looking for a span tags, right? So let me just find the selector. So span with a class of text, right? So if name equals, so I'm sorry, it's not name, it's probably tag. So if tag equals to span, okay. So now we did extract all the available spans, and we have the quotes among them, but we don't need really all the spans, so we need to specify now the class parameters. So we would be filtering by the attributes, and I guess we'll use class in particular. So now I can say and tag and attributes, right? Attributes, and here the name for the attribute, it would be class, and if it equals to text. Okay, list indices must be integers. Oh, so probably, okay, I'm sorry. So attributes, I'm not sure if this was, okay, well, at least we did manage to extract only this textual data we need. So here we got our textual data, and okay, so yeah, probably it would be too hard to make this using the bare the only string. So I won't be able to show you the entire data set, like the quote and the author and the link at the same time. So I would just show you them by one, and maybe later on we can just try to write this within the file, basically, and we'll try that as well. So let's go for this. So the next thing to consider, okay, so now we don't need to print tag anymore, so let's print the bare text. So here we got our bare quotes, perfect, and now we specify the small tag. I just remember them by heart. So and the attributes class would be equal to the author. Okay, so now we got the list of our authors, and I don't remember the name for a link. So yeah, so does this, okay, I guess yeah, I guess I won't be able to match the particular link. So yeah, I guess I won't be able for that. So let's say no, not right in here. So no attributes. So the only thing I can do over in here is only to try to match the tag, because so it would have been a tag, and instead of printing the text, I would like to print tag and attributes and the 0 element and the h reference. What? Oh, it's not available within all the tags, I guess. Okay, let's at least try to print the tag name, the tag text. Yeah, because the one-liner don't allow you to try acceptance. Well, still, hold on a sec. Yeah, this about. So okay, maybe I can just if tag equals to a, let's say, and yeah, okay, I found a method. Okay, and let's say tag and text equals to about. Okay, yeah, and in this case I can actually try to print the h reference, tag h reference, but within the attributes. Okay, so this is an error, right? And if I just specify the very first element. Okay, now we got the links to our authors. So well guys, just exactly how I promised you to do this, basically. So yeah, you know, like I will probably just try to leave this as is for you to be able to try this at home. Like they usually say, don't try this at home, and on the contrary, I can encourage you guys to actually to try this at home, because this is really interesting thing to try. And I've spent this entire Sunday to record this little video in the very evening, so I really spent lots of time to discover, first to compose this kind of regular expression, and then to play around with Python console to be able to extract this data using the bare Python interpreter without writing the source code into the file. So I hope you have some fun out of watching this little tutorial, and please let me know in the commentaries if you could actually make the steps being presented in this tutorial, and if you did succeed, and maybe you have some questions about this. And for those of you who would try to suggest me using Beautiful Soup or Scrapey, please check out my playlist that regards to Beautiful Soup and requests library, one-time scrapers, and really numerous scrapey tutorials. So that's another list on CodeMonkey King's channel. Okay guys, so this is it for this video. I wish you all the best, so until the next time, and take care.